Well, welcome back to Riyadh. We are here in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and we have just crowned a new undisputed world heavyweight champion. The first of the century is Alexander Usyk. He wins a split decision over Tyson Fury. I'm delighted to be joined by Andy Clark. You commentated on it. I'm still like, what a fight, right?
Yeah, it was brilliant. It was a brilliant fight between two brilliant fighters, two just phenomenal athletes. And you know, we've been around them all week and it's been an absolute pleasure, hasn't it? And that just delivered everything that we could have wanted it to. I thought the right guy got the nod in the end. I felt like it was probably 7-5 Usyk plus a knockdown. So I had it the same as one of the judges, 115, 112. But I could see how one of them could have gone the other way. So the 6-6 Usyk by the knockdown. Yeah, I could see that. The card for Fury, which had him winning 7 rounds, personally, I didn't see that. But, you know, if I can see 6-6, I'm not miles away, am I, basically? But I thought the right guy got it myself.
When Michael Buffer came to reading out the scores, I wasn't sure what to expect. I thought it could go
Apart
Fury.
from a split decision.
Yeah, it could go draw, it could go Usyk. It was one of those where I feel like you probably couldn't moan for any of those decisions. Tyson Fury's adamant that he won the fight as well. Clearly he sees that scorecard. But Alexander Usyk has got the crown.
Yeah, and the corner, I think, felt like he'd done enough. They seemed quite confident down the stretch. The way I looked at it really was, I thought the first 3 rounds, Usyk kind of shaded them all, but you know, I can see how you would find a round for Fury in there. 4, 5, 6 were Fury rounds are pretty big, and at that point the wind was very much in his sails. And Usyk did what he does, which is he's got this amazing ability when he really needs to kind of halt momentum. And I'm not saying he definitely won the 7th round, but he did enough to kind of just stem the tide a bit. And then 9, 10, and 11. So 7 and 8 are tricky ones, you know, to separate.
8 was the
them.
round where he hurt the nose, I think.
Yeah.
He landed something big and flush.
Yeah, and
nose.
so 9, 10, and 11. Usyk was dominant, and he was one punch away. He was one punch away from winning by knockout. How Fury stayed up for as long as he did, I don't really know. And some people debating at ringside. Alex said it in the ring, didn't he? Alex Krasiuk, that you know he felt like by giving that knockdown, the referee kind of saved Tyson Fury. But that was a legit knockdown to give because he collided with the corner post and the ropes, and they kept him up.
Yeah.
Therefore, that is a knockdown.
That's a knockdown.
It was the right call. And actually, you could argue that maybe if Tyson had just gone down or taken a knee or something like that a bit sooner, then it might have been better for him. But it was a great fight. It was a great night all round, actually, but a really, really good fight. And we've had some rematches in the last few years where people haven't really wanted to see it again, but everybody's going to want to see that again.
I think you're going to want to see it again. It feels like, for me, the early rounds, don't forget Tyson was showboating, he was having fun, he was going up against the ropes, doing all of that, memes for days, and it felt like he was cruising at one point. That was the feeling around where I was sat, that maybe it was sort of 5-1 from the first 6 rounds, which isn't something that you saw.
Yeah, I mean, but that's the interesting thing, isn't it? That you think things are subjective, and in the first 3 rounds, I felt like the way that he turned it on in 4, 5, and 6, you know, he was adjusting, he was kind of acclimatising, trying to get a read on Usyk, which is not an easy thing to do. And yeah, at the midway stage, it looked like there was one winner. But as I say, Usyk is incredible at just pulling out those clutch rounds when he really, really needs them. In a really good fight, you get momentum shifts, don't you? You get a to and fro, and that's what we had, and that's what you want, because that just shows it's like an arm wrestle, isn't it? They're locked in the middle, just desperately trying to give some ground, and it goes that way and it goes that way, and you feel like you know what's going to happen, and then it turns out you don't. And it was great. It was great. It really was. We waited a long time for it, obviously 25 years, but it was terrific.
It was also the perfect sell for the rematch. It's no secret this was a 2-fight clause. They're talking about they have to do it twice. I think they're going to start Riyadh season again with the rematch. So it's the perfect sell because it had so many moments in the fight, you know, as you call it, ebbs and flows, and Tyson Fury was hurt by Alexander Usyk, and I think that's actually a factor heading into the rematch, which we didn't have heading into this fight. We now know Tyson Fury can be hurt by Alexander Usyk. Tyson knows that, Usyk knows that. How does that change things for the rematch?
It's significant because obviously for Usyk it gives him that confidence, but I wouldn't think it would necessarily affect too much of the way he would go about things. I don't think we're going to see him try and climb all over Fury. What was interesting was in the round after that, he was quite measured, wasn't he? Mm-hmm. Because Fury did the right thing. He didn't really try and throw back. He just gave the round away to get his resistance levels back up, and that's what you need to do. But people often don't do it. They'll just revert to instinct and they'll try and throw back, and then that remaining little bit left on their energy bar gets wiped out and they're done and they get knocked out. Recovering from a heavy knockdown, although he didn't actually go down, but it was heavy because he was hit a lot.
The ropes kept him up, I think that's fair
exactly. You have to give yourself time to get your legs back underneath you and allow your head to clear, and if that means that you basically just give that next round away, then that's what you do. His powers of recovery are pretty incredible, aren't they, to be honest?
Remarkable, and it's always been that way. You go back to the 12th round against Wilder, and the moments in the third Wilder fight in particular, remember that shot that rippled down his entire frame? He recovered from that, came back and knocked out Deontay Wilder. So that the powers of recovery have always been there. You think maybe they'd wane as he got older, but they're there and he had to use them tonight.
Well, I mean, you mentioned the age there. I mean, that was a hot pace in that fight too, and you've got a 35-year-old who's not been all that active, who had a poor performance last time out, a 37-year-old in Usyk who has been in camp for what would have felt like forever with the postponements, and who actually at heavyweights only boxed once a year, and that can be difficult as you get older. So that's impressive that the pair of them in their mid-late 30s can put on that kind of a show, because there was plenty landed there. There was plenty of good, solid stuff landed there. And, Fury worked Usyk over, to be honest, in rounds 4, 5 and 6. And the durability of the two of them is very impressive. And what it comes down to really is it's the will. It comes down to that old Mike Tyson quote, I refuse to lose. I refuse to get hurt, knocked down, knocked out. I cannot lose. I refuse to lose. That's what it comes down to in the end.
Stubborn.
Because you get two people who've got a really high skill level, the pair of them, and you feel like they're on an equal footing in that sense. And then what it comes down to in the end is, how deep can you really dig? How deep can you really dig? And they both dug very, very, very deep.
We talk about the moments that Fury was hurt. That was clear to see. But make no mistake, Usyk was wobbled a little bit at times in that fight as well. He had to really think about things in there. But what a thrilling fight, Andy Clark. I mean, I don't know how the rematch is going to go. You've still got one judge gave this to Tyson Fury today. One and two judges gave it to Alexander Usyk. Whilst Usyk has got the crown, Tyson will probably be thinking, you've got it at the moment, and I'm going to go and get it in October or whenever they do the rematch. Yeah,
that's absolutely what he'll be thinking. And as we know, there might be some splintering of the bouts between now and then, but it doesn't really matter, because we know what that fight's for. It's for the position of number one. And that's really what we're after in boxing, what we've been after for a long time, and it's important for the sport within the context of the wider sporting landscape, for people on the outside who might just tune in for this fight to know that there are recognisable leading lights in this mayhem, and it isn't just a case of you can all decide who you think is best to make an argument and have a big row about it. They do actually face off and fight each other, because we've had quite a lot of that actually in recent years. There's been lots of undisputed champions, and heavyweight division was letting us down, to be honest.
Not tonight.
But not tonight. No. Absolutely not tonight.
Listen, one thing Alexander Usyk kept saying in the build-up to this fight, Andy, it was his kind of message to Tyson Fury over and over again. Don't be scared, I won't leave you alone. And he was there all night. He really didn't leave him alone, did he?
No, he absolutely didn't leave him alone. He was all over him like a rash, wasn't he, from beginning to end. And that, I think that maybe did not take Fury aback in the first 3 rounds, but it was difficult for him to find too much peace. And whilst you're trying to figure out how to counteract that takes a little bit of time. And I think it did take him a little bit of time. That long left hand for Usyk worked well. It didn't necessarily really hurt Fury, to be honest, but it's quite an easy punch to see. And that matters when it comes to scoring, because you've got the judges at different sides of the ring, obviously. A shot that comes from the outside, comes from distance, travels a long way, it's very difficult to miss. And in those early rounds, it was kind of stuff like that I felt separated the two of them. But it was brilliant. And just the overall spectacle was really, really good too, because some of the undercard fights were were very, very entertaining. It was just a
Yeah.
good night of boxing all round, and the main event got in the ring at exactly the right time, I thought.
It did, didn't it? I think we were all checking our watches, and,
Yeah.
and it happened at exactly the right time. There was a quite glorious kind of ring walks for both of them, little ceremony, little kind of mini concert as well. They do things differently around here.
Yeah, they do, and I thought that all worked. I
Yeah.
thought that all worked because it wasn't too long. It didn't really get in the way. I thought the music act, everybody seemed to enjoy it. I enjoyed it. I'll be honest, I'm not familiar with his work,
No.
but at the same time,
No.
it was fun.
Yeah.
And
You're a new fan, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, exactly.
There you go.
And the cage that kind of descended on the ring and
Oh,
all
yeah.
that kind of stuff. And the ring walks were great because the runway wasn't that long, so they're actually quite short. But just
Right.
really, the energy was tremendous. The energy inside the
Yeah.
arena was absolutely tremendous, because that has been a criticism, that the atmosphere hasn't been that good in some of the previous fight nights. But I feel like it's built bit by bit. I thought the last one was good, Knockout Chaos, and I thought that tonight was great.
Yeah, I think as we headed towards the business end of the week, when it got towards press conference, you heard people cheering for Alexander Usyk, people cheering for Tyson Fury before he took to the mic, very much so at the weigh-in. I mean, that was pandemonium at the weigh-in, and tonight nobody can have any complaints about the atmosphere in there. We heard Sweet Caroline, we heard it, we heard Fury's on fire, your defence is terrified. I think that's the line, fantastic line as well. But great atmosphere, great fitting fight, and a great way to crown the new king of the heavyweight division officially today.
Yeah, it was, and that's, like I said, that is just such an important thing for the division, basically, to get these two together. It's been a long time coming. It's been difficult to do, and we know why it's happened. It's happened because of the investment in boxing that Saudi Arabia have made, and people need to give them their credit for that.
Absolutely.
Because it is that simple. It just is that simple.
Let's talk a little bit about the undercard. Ajit Kabayal, for me, that stood out as a fantastic win. I think we're going to be joined shortly by either Tyson Fury or Alexander Usyk up on that stage behind us. This is the post-fight press conference room here. But before they join us, just a word on Ajit Kabayal. That was another that's back-to-back impressive wins as an underdog in the heavyweight division.
Yeah, I mean, he has been a massive winner in this whole enterprise so far, because that win against Makhmudov was a very, very good win, and that performance against Sanchez tonight was it was kind of measured, metronomic savagery, to be honest, because he just broke him down right from the beginning, didn't he? And he doesn't get carried away. Fraser Clark was working with us tonight, and he'd been over there sparring Kabayel 2 or 3 weeks ago, and he said he's a really good combination puncher. He's really good at getting on top of you and finding enough space, but not leaving you enough space. Because Sanchez is kind of physically bigger than him, and Fraser is too. And I did wonder, why have you got Fraser over to prepare you for Sanchez? Because Sanchez is the kind of guy who can really use his feet. I did wonder whether he did have a knee brace on, and I did wonder whether there was something slightly wrong, because the movement just wasn't there at all, and he did kind of look a bit sorry for himself from quite an early stage. But Kabayel just sent him to hell, to be honest with you, and he sent him there quick.
Yeah, and he does it from such a humble place.
Yeah, he does.
There is no
very likeable man, isn't he?
Very likeable man. I'm sure you've tried, I've tried at various points in the week to get predictions out of him. Absolutely refuses to commit to a prediction, but certainly committed to his punches tonight, as did Anthony Kakachi, by the way. The realisation of a lifelong dream, big moment for Anthony Kakachi tonight.
It was massive, and I did fancy that to be a good fight. I really did, and everybody I know did, because I was talking to Carl Frampton about him, and he said Kakachi can really punch, He's done hundreds of rounds with him. He said he really can punch, but I just thought the activity or lack thereof would cost him. But you look at the shape he's in, and the way that he clearly lives his life to stay in that kind of condition and stay that fit, and that tuned in, despite the fact that he's had these long absences from the ring. And that is a lesson in itself, because boxing's, it's a rough old game, isn't it? Not just in the ring, outside of the ring, and you have to just keep believing and keep grafting and keep grinding, keep thinking that the phone will ring, and you need to be ready when it does.
Yeah.
And he got this opportunity, and boy did he take it.
Yeah. It's changed his life.
It's changed his life. It's absolutely changed his life. It was quite entertaining to hear him at the end there just say, only interested in boxing in Saudi Arabia from now on. Nowhere else. This'll do me. Just here.
I don't think you can blame him.
No, absolutely not.
By the way, I'm not doing a bad job of guarding people from entering view. I actually sent Antonio Tarver away earlier. I'm pretty sure that was Antonio Tarver.
It was the magic man.
Off you go, Tarver. So, but yeah, listen, let's talk a little bit more about the actual main event. What happens now with Tyson Fury? They're going to go away. They're going to regroup. What can they do differently in the rematch?
Well, I feel like they just needed to start a bit better. On my card, that's what cost him, probably. Yeah, it's one of those fights where I will be interested to watch it back. I generally don't tend to watch fights back. Certainly not to kind of see whether I feel like I got it right or wrong. We're not keeping a strict scorecard on Sky anyway, but you need to make a call. That's what you're there for. You can't just sit there and say, oh, well, on the one hand this, on the other hand that. You know, that's not good enough, I don't think. But, you know, our word is not the law. And when the scores came out, I looked at them and thought, okay, yeah, I could see that if you did that and did this and did that. But I just feel like he needed to start a bit quicker. I think on at least one judge's scorecard, he will have given up probably those first three. I'll be quite keen to see the cards. I'm sure he will at some point.
Yeah.
He may well have given up those first three because he just wasn't really busy enough. He wasn't in any trouble, but that odd long left hand, like I said, that comes in from the outside and is easy to see, and a few left hands to the body, stuff like that. You know, fine margins.
That's where I need to watch it back as well, because we were sat in completely different positions.
Yeah, opposite sides of the ring.
Opposite sides of the ring. What I was seeing initially was, wow, Tyson Fury is bossing this. I was going to tweet this as a masterclass so far. I was really thinking 5-1. Obviously, I'm sat next to
so interesting, you know. The different perspectives are so interesting, and a lot of the time when people watch it at home, they don't really like to hear it because they feel like it's a cop-out, but it's absolutely true.
Yeah.
It's absolutely true, depending on where you're sitting, and also, to be honest, it does depend on who you're sitting with. Mm-hmm. We all kind of agreed with each other, me and Macklin and Fraser Clark, and I'm always aware that you can get into a little bit of a hive mind scenario if you're not careful, so I'm always trying to guard against that and think about, as I say, not hedging outrageously, but think about, okay, well, those two were close. If you went the other way with those two, then all of a sudden this looks quite different. But you do need to kind of draw a line in the sand somewhere. But when you're watching a fight like that, because I never look at Twitter or anything like that, or ask for anybody else's score. You just got
during the fight.
Nah, never.
No.
You just got to trust yourself.
Yeah.
But at points you are kind of sitting there just thinking, I'm sort of kind of curious as to how other people are seeing this, in case they've got it completely different to me.
But you know that a few times you've actually said this week about when that first bell rings, just that moment beforehand when the referee
it's magic.
Them up. I had your voice in my head as
It's
they
magic.
went back to their corners, and there was that magic in the air, wasn't there?
Yeah.
Just before they threw the first blows. A truly unforgettable fight, unforgettable night, really, Andy.
It was, absolutely was, and I've really enjoyed the whole week, and I've taken the time to have a look around and kind of remind myself of where I am and what I'm doing. And when you have that lull before the main event, and as you say, you've got a nice kind of runway in with the ring walks, and then it's final instructions, and you've got all that kind of furniture, and then they go back to their corners after final instructions, and you've got that kind of 10 or 15 seconds when the ring empties. You know, that's just... It's glorious, glorious stuff. Nothing better.
Well, sorry to cut you off. Let's head over to Tyson Fury.
Chair's gone down, Matt. I have this one. You with that? Put Tyson in the middle. Tyson in the middle. Sorry.
There you go, mate.
Unless you break that one. That's a bit low. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. Frank, do you want to start?
Yeah, first of all, I'm not sure. I've just been told that Alexander's gone to the hospital to have a CT scan on his jaw. And what a magnificent fight it was, too. It absolutely was all what we all expected. A great fight, two great fighters. In some ways controversial in as much it... Hey. You got a press conference going on over the back there, boys? And it was magnificent. I'm so proud of Tyson. He's a friend and great friend, and his family, and it's and I genuinely thought, that he would do what he do. And then you look at the fight after the first round for quite a while. Tyson I thought he was going to stop him. He looked so much in control of the fight. But then when he got caught on the nose, in my opinion. He lost his concentration just for a moment, and then the next round, obviously, there was the 10-8 round. I personally felt, I agreed with the judge who gave it to Tyson, but no sour grapes, no crybaby stuff. We got a unified champion, and that is it. And we congratulate him and his team on putting a great event together, a brilliant event here in the Kingdom. His Excellency, thanks to His Excellency, this happened, and what a great night and the other fights on the card. This has been a brilliant, brilliant night for boxing, and we should celebrate what we watched, because these guys showed true grit all the way through.
Tyson, you've earned all the money in the world that you need. You've got an eighth baby on the way. You proved yourself with the
That's not confirmed.
You told
8 babies not confirmed.
You proved yourself.
Not yet, anyway.
You proved yourself with the Wilder fights, getting up. In that round 9, why are you getting up off the floor? What is in your head that's making... He's got a water fight. He thinks he's doing it for a nation. I don't know how you did it, mate.
You know what? I just want to say thank you to God, in the mighty name of Jesus. We put on a good fight for the fans. I always say it's about getting paid and getting laid. And we did that tonight. I thank Alexander for the good fight. It was a close fight, I believed, I thought I did enough, but, I'm not a judge. I can't judge a fight while I'm boxing it. If they would have said to me in the last round or whatever, you're down, go out and try and finish him, I would have done that. But everyone in the corner believed we were up. All I had to do was just keep boxing and doing what I was doing, and, I thought we was getting it. But it was what it was. I'm not going to cry about spilled milk. I've had plenty of victories, and I've gave God the glory. I've had this one loss and a close fight, with a good man like Usyk. And it was what it was. I tried my best in there. I was having a lot of fun, actually. I don't know if it looked like it, but I was playing around, hands behind my back. I was enjoying it. He's a good fighter, Alexander, and I was catching him and he was catching me, and it was a good fight. So hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did, getting punched in the face.
Yes.
Tyson, just want to congratulate you first on a magnificent performance.
Thank you.
So sharp at the beginning of that fight.
Yeah.
When did it turn around? At what point did you feel that he started to get involved?
I thought the first 6 rounds he maybe nicked one of the rounds, and yeah, maybe. And then going forward, I believe I won a few of the last rounds as well. So I'm not sure. If I won I won 5 of the first 6, and then the next 6 I won a few as well. So listen, it was close. I don't know. Listen, I tried my best, and it was what it was. I come up short. One of the judges had me winning, and the other 2 didn't. So yeah, I can't complain about it. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you.
Tyson, obviously, you've consistently said that you felt like you're the best heavyweight of this generation. I'm sure a loss wasn't in your imagination. First of all, congratulations on the performance, but how do you feel right now, with something that you never thought would really happen?
Let me tell you, I'm very happy. In my mind, I did the best I could, and I thought I won the fight, but it was what it was. I'm happy with the performance, Both men's got paid, and both men's going home to their lovely wives and children, and that's what it's about. We put on a show for the fans. Usyk's 37, I'm 36-year-old. We're not young kids anymore. We're at the end of our careers, and we put on a brilliant fight tonight, so I'm proud of myself, you know what I mean? I'm proud. In that 9th round, I was hit and I was hurt, and I rallied on back. That's what the GK does. And it was what it was. I'm just thankful that both got out the ring in one piece, and we're on to the next one.
True British grit. That's what this is. This man here, true Brit grit.
Thank you, guys.
What I want to ask a question, please.
Tyson Yevhen
the
Trukhanov,
rematch-
Sport
the
Arena,
rematch.
Ukraine. First of all, thank you for your fight. Thank you for being respectful. My question is, did Alexander surprise you somehow?
Not really, because I knew he was a good boxer coming into it. He didn't surprise me. We was prepared. We was fully prepared. He had a long training camp. We had a couple of training camps. One of them I got the cut in, and then we postponed and put it back again, another 15 weeks. It was what it was. I believe that I was the best I could have been. I don't think I could have done any better. Maybe if they'd have said to me, right, you're down in the last 2 rounds, I probably could have went out and tried to attack him and tried to get him out of there myself. But other than that, I'd done the best I could, He's a good fighter.
Just finish, please. Rematch, gentlemen. Thoughts?
Sorry?
Rematch thoughts?
Yeah, we just had a fight. if you can see my face, I'm pretty busted up, and he's gone to the hospital with a broken jaw, and he's busted too. So we punched fuck out of each other for 12 rounds there. So we're going to go home, eat some food, drink a few beers, spend some family time, walk my dog, go to the tip, and me and Frank will talk about what's going to happen in the future.
No rush for anything.
Tyson, fighthot.com, you mate, great fight off.
Thank you.
How'd you win it, mate? Do anything need to change for the rematch? Do you think you have to appear any different? Maybe
Let's see if we're going to have it. Let's see if we're going to have it first.
Listen, I don't know what's going to happen, but, you know, I think I just do a little bit more of the same, keep my defence a little bit tighter, a bit more focused, and I'm not so much messing around, because I was having fun in there. I was playing around, I was hitting him to the body, I was hitting uppercuts to the head. I thought I was bossing the fight.
you don't like the body shots either?
Well, it was what it was, wasn't it? I was hitting him both sides of the body, crack, crack.
Well, can I say, Tyson, Australia loves you.
Thank you.
I love you. The Gypsy King.
Get up!
Okay, so can we have questions from the press now? Any press questions? Who's got the mic?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Question for Sugar. Sugar, how close were you to, or what were your thoughts going through your head when Tyson sort of went down in that 9th round? Were you thinking about this could be it, or were you always confident he'd get back off the canvas?
When that happened in the 9th round, obviously, I mean, Tyson's been through a lot. He's an intelligent fighter, and he's supposed to do what he's supposed to do. Protect yourself, slip, dip, hold, whatever you got to do. That's a part of boxing. It always has to be in the game plan when you get put in a situation like that.
Next question.
Questions, anyone? Tyson, were you hurt in the night when you went down? Here's the mic, please.
You have to have eyes, no eyes, to see he wasn't there. To see he was there, fucking, but however it is, definitely.
You said,
You said. Sensible question. Ooh, good catch, blue shirt. Well done.
Real press questions, please.
Owen.
Tyson, in the immediate and very emotional aftermath of the decision, you said you thought it went against you because Ukraine was at war. I just wonder if you do you want to talk about that? Do you want to? I mean,
Listen, it was what it was. We couldn't. It's not up to the fighters, you know. One of the judges had me winning, 2 of them didn't. It was what it was.
And at the end of the day,
Can't really say much about it.
boxers are unlike any other sportsman. Sportsmen, footballers, everybody can go back to the dressing room, compose themselves and come out. They've had a war and things are said, so please, people should absolutely show some respect to that. This man's been brilliant for British boxing and he's done great for it, and we should all be proud of him as a nation for what he's done as a fighter.
Tyson, congratulations on a great fight. I just want to nail down your thoughts on the rematch, and if you're not going to take it, is this possibly going to be it for you?
Let me tell you, I've just had a fight. I've just come out. I don't want to think about having a boxing fight. I've been in camp 7 months, don't forget. Cut, back in camp, back in camp. It was what it was. I'm here to get paid, get laid, go home. That's exactly what I'll do. And then we'll regroup, and then we'll talk about it. And if there's going to be another fight soon, or whenever it is, October, I think they're believing about it, we'll rock and roll Sally. Get up.
Matt Lenehan for Boxing Social. Tyson, you've always done so well when your back's against the wall and you're going into the fights where there's genuine jeopardy, and that's what you get up for. After the fight, although you've took the defeat, does that sort of give you that hunger? I know you've just finished the fight, but you're now the hunter again, going after all the belts in a rematch.
Listen, it is what it is. I can't really say much. What can I say? Close fight. Could have nicked it, couldn't have, whatever. Could have been a draw, who knows? But I haven't got the decision, and I'm not going to cry about it. We'll regroup. I'll have an holiday, go home, speak to the wife and kids, and I'll see what I want to do. You know, I ain't boxing in here because I've got no money. I box it because I love it. Do you understand? I'm 36 in a few months, and I've been boxing since I've been a child. So it is what it is. Where does it all end? Do you have 100 fights and brain damage in a wheelchair? I'm not sure. But the one thing is, all the time I'm still loving the game, and I was having fun in there, I was really enjoying myself, then I'll continue to do it. And when I can't do that anymore, I'll pack it up.
Congratulations.
Thank you, everybody, and good night.
Well done.
Fucking hell.